Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, it's Needle here and welcome back to Lothric. There's been a massive update to this game, a lot of things have changed. Nothing that really affects us I don't think, other than perhaps there was a glitch that allowed you to sort of kind of bypass certain bosses. Well, not bypass them, but use NPC phantoms to bypass them, and that's gone. But anyway, none of that concerns us. Last time we ran through the undead settlement, kind of clearing up a lot of loose ends and things like that. Today there's only two things left to do. We have to defeat the boss of the area, which is optional but something that's quite important to us, and Ludlith. And also just carry on with one of the NPC quest lines and make it through to the next area of the game. It shouldn't take too long, hopefully. We should just be able to jump straight in here and get it done. This might be a shorter episode than usual as a result of that. Sorry, I'm just at a really weird angle. I'm kind of pressed for space and stuff just now, so rather than using my usual setup, I've decided just to set my mic up in a different part of my desk, and I've realised how frustrating it is on my neck. So hopefully it shouldn't affect us too much. I'm just sitting at a kind of strange angle. Thankfully, we don't really need to pay too much attention to this boss. Ah, okay, see, I wondered if we'd fought this guy yet. Since we joined the Mind Makers, of course, we accessed Hodrick and got his summon and things like that. And as the result, here he is here, to give us a taste of what the Mind Makers are all about. We want to kind of drag him back through here before that guy aggroes. Come on now. Unfortunately, one of the updates that's actually happened has changed the warmth spell. Originally it didn't really heal you all that much, but now it does, and Hodrick uses this quite a lot, so I'm afraid of what's going to happen in this fight. Well, here we go. Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh, this dude is aggro does now. Alright, okay. Time to run. Oh crap, were they fighting each other? Oh, okay, no. Hodrick's got a power within. Oh, we've been parried. Probably going to kill us now. I had no idea he could even do that. That's brand new. And of course he's a chugger as well. Oh. But he's going to go down. Bye bye, Bo. We're going to get a Vertebra Shackle for killing him, I think. And that's about it, yeah. Vertebra Shackle and an Estus Charge. We're going to rest up anyway. I had no idea he could parry you. I've fought him 4 or 5 times now, and that's the first time ever he's done that to me. But that's kind of a lesson just for the online experience while we're at it. Don't R1 spam. People are getting used to it, and the meta, I guess if you can call it that, is using a lot of weapons in the Hornet Ring, which boosts your parry damage. So usually R1 spamming like that is fine against enemies in this game, but online, don't try it. It's probably a very... Let's see, did they drop anything? They can only drop rubbish, as far as I'm concerned. I mean that literally, they drop the item rubbish, which does nothing. Okay, we should have actually travelled via a different bonfire. I'm just realising this now, but it doesn't matter. Because the giant's going to help us out. There we go. Okay, so we've got this guy. He's now dead. And Red Eye Dude, who's going to go down in one combo. There he goes. I think we've already explored this area, yeah, because we've got the Great Scythe from there. And we opened a shortcut, which I was actually thinking we should have went to the other bonfire and come down this way, because it's easier just to use a shortcut door. It doesn't matter. Regardless, you saw the easier way just to come right through here. There's a summon sign here. This is an online player. It's your mum. There you go. That's a shortcut there. But this boss here is not your typical boss. It's not a standard just attack it with whatever you've got. It's a bit of a puzzle boss. You see these sort of egg things all over it. You have to destroy them to cause massive damage. Once you've destroyed the central group of eggs in the middle, it's going to change the boss arena and it's going to gain some more powers. But we can focus on that in a minute. We're going to go in and kill all these guys first. These guys in the first phase of the fight will infinitely spawn no matter what you do. Thankfully the boss can actually kill them though, so it's okay. Try to kill as many as you can without getting close to the boss first. Especially this guy, of course. This is the dudes that got the most HP and things like that. The rest of them just go down in one kind of swing with your raw or a straight sword if you've been following our build. Whoa, no. Okay. And the boss has come to life. Curse-rotted Greatwood, it's exactly as it says on the tin, it is a curse-rotted tree. Which is weird as hell, but okay. So you see, whenever you attack those things, you kind of go down. There's one on that arm that I want to get. Try and leave the middle one for last. Some of them you can't hit right now, you see. They'll only really become active in the second phase of the fight. Especially these ones on the back are the ones you want to kind of hit as soon as you can. When it does that, it's going to drop this kind of acid stuff. Even if you can't see it, like on the stone there, it's still there, so don't go anywhere near him at that point. Just wait till it dies down. I'm going to go for this arm. Here. And thanks to the power of the raw store straight sword, these egg things usually break in about 2 hits. You can be hit with that attack, and as you can see, it doesn't really do any damage, but it will break your guard. This attack is really frustrating because it forces you to just run away for no good reason and just kind of hold off. There's nothing you can do right now. You can try and keep track of the guys around about you, but if you kind of bait these big attacks like that, they will take care of the majority of the actual annoying enemies. Won't take care of that attack though. Okay, so we've done well on half his HP. He's now going to change the boss arena. None of these guys are going to survive, so don't need to worry about that. Just keep your distance from them. Actually try and get around the back of the boss if you can. There you go, and we're going to be okay. And now, we're going to take this moment to try and destroy this one. If you can free aim, it's probably going to do a better job for you. I wouldn't recommend locking on in this portion of the fight, and I'd also recommend staying away from the front of the boss. As you can see, he's now got a giant hand kind of poking out there. This is his other attack, which is more annoying than anything. Ow. So now with that, ow, that was silly, that was too aggressive from me. As you can see, this hand is really annoying. You can't really do a ton of damage to it. Oh. And you're dead. So there you go, not too difficult a boss. You just need to, it's kind of trial and error the first few times. If you don't know what you're doing, you can't really know where the egg spots are, but hopefully that helped you guys find them. That's the best order to hit them in as well. I find enemy. And we'll have a similar experience soon, a few bosses in the future. There's something quite similar to that. We got its soul. Here it is. Excuse me. Soul of the curse-rotted Greatwood, one with twisted great souls. Ever since its establishment, all manner of curses have managed to seep into the undead settlement. The worst of them were sealed away inside a spirit tree, but eventually the curses took their toll. And I guess if you compare, there's a Vort's soul. It looks like a flame, and so does this, but this looks like one singular thing, whereas this one actually looks like tiny little things, all making the one big thing. So that's the many curses, I think, building up to one bad soul, as it were. We also got the transposing kiln. She's here. An old transposing kiln from Kurland, crafted with stitched crystal lizard hide. Gift to Lidlith, Lord of Cinder, to conduct soul transposition. This kiln can transpose twisted souls to craft special items with their concentrated essence, deemed forbidden by those unable to make proper use of it. So it was a forbidden art in Kurland, although Lidlith was trained in it, he knows what he's doing. And this is going to let us make boss weapons. Oh, boss items. Here's Hodrick. If you don't complete the Mind Maker's kind of side quest thing, where you jump into the non-lethal enemy and you start this fight, of course you'll fall down here and kill Hodrick before you can actually talk to him, and that's that. You can still access the bonfire. The altar, and now you have a handy bonfire right next to the altar to hand in your things. If this happens, there is another way to join the Mind Makers, although it takes a long while to come into effect, and you can't join the Invasion Covenant of the game, because that will void it. We are going to head back to Firelink. We're going to give a transposing kiln to Ludlith, see what we can make with the souls we've gained so far. Level up, probably. I don't know if we can upgrade our store a straight sword, and to be honest, I'm not sure if I want to. I think +2 is fine for a good bit of the game. And I don't really want to keep using it anyway, so I don't want to put a lot of Titanite investment into it.
All that unkindled, and I am Ludlith of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be like this...
I apologise, I don't know if we'd spoke to Ludlith before. I know I started the character, did all of this stuff, and then I had to restart a character, so I'm not too sure if we spoke to him in this playthrough. But we're going to give him this transposing kiln.
Oh, belike it is a transposing kiln in thy possession. Seen better days, but methinks it shall suffice. Now, transposition is the art of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. In transposing a twisted soul, thy purpose is to seek lords and slay them. What's to fear in a little transposition now?
So that's kind of, it's more of a gameplay thing just to explain how transposition works, but basically, not only does it come across as a forbidden art, but he's kind of saying like it can be a bad thing. I mean, you've got to go hunt down all the lords, so what have you got to fear from a little bit of transposition? So, here's the things we can make. Soul of a Demon we don't have yet, we'll get that later from a mini-boss. Same with that, Demon Fist. Here with Vort's Soul, we can make his Great Hammer, his axe. See what it says. That's just explaining the Frostbite mechanic. So the Great Hammer's okay, but I don't think it's that good. Same with Arthur's Spear. One of the curses that fester within the belly of the Greatwood, and a terrible weapon favoured by Earl Arstor the Impaler. The spear is enwreathed with rotten heavy poisonous meat. Defeating foes restores HP. So you restore HP by killing things, and it has a reference to Earl Arstor from Carim, who was a character in Dark Souls 1, who is notorious for being a bit of an evil guy and conducting some pretty evil experiments and things like that. He was called the Impaler, and you can see why. That's his spear right there. Another more interesting thing here, Pontiff Left Eye. This can be made with Vort's Soul. Bewitched rings that the Pontiff Sullivan bestowed upon his knights recovers HP with successful attacks. Knights who peer into the Black Orb are lured into battles of death, transformed into frenzied beasts. No wonder the Pontiff only provides these rings to those dispatched to foreign lands. So the Outrider Knights like Vort and stuff who were dispatched to foreign lands were given these rings to kind of power them up and make them more, make them more powerful and more reckless, if you know what I mean, less afraid to die, I guess is a better way to put it. But as a result of that, they often became beasts. As you could see with Vort, he was almost like a dog on all fours and attacking us type thing. Recovers HP with successful attacks. It's essentially the rally mechanic from Bloodborne, if you played that. And I think it's the far superior of the two items. So we're going to grab that, because it's 0 souls anyway. Here is the other item that we're going to take, I think the Hollow Slayer Greatsword. The Greatsword used for a lifetime by a masked knight, harbours the fears that lurk within the minds of Hollows and is particularly effective against them. Bestowed to a proper Mirror Knight long ago, two-hand to execute special sword techniques. So, those of you who've played Dark Souls 2 or watched my playthrough from it, you might recognise that sword, and that is the Sword of Lucatiel. I've already picked up her armour from nearby the Curse-Wrought Greatwood actually. So it kind of makes sense that her sword was there, although it doesn't really make sense that her specific things were there, because obviously she disappeared in her own timeline. But we now have this great sword, which is meant to be pretty good. I've not actually used it yet in anything. We need 18 dex for it, so I'm not too sure if we're going to level it that much, but we'll find out. We've got 14,000 souls anyway. Is Grey Rat returned? Did we send him off to pillage? I think we did.
Oh, hello. It took some prowling. Go on.
Yeah, okay, so Grey Rat's return is usually triggered by either a special event which causes him to not return, or if you defeat a boss of an area, it usually speeds up his return. So since we beat that boss there, he shows back up with some new things, including the Zweihander, if you're interested in that. The Pontiff Knight Curved Sword, that will become more relevant later. The S-Stock, which has been nerfed as of the latest update, but can still be good. Bandit Knife, good for a bleed build if you want to do it. The classic Bastard Sword, which is usually the precursor to if you're going to use a Claymore. Things like the Glaive, Spear, Warpick, Mace. But more importantly, things like the Buckler and the Target Shield. If you're going to PvP and you don't want to use the Cestus or anything like that, you probably want to come and grab one of these two for your PvP world to make parries a lot easier. We also have some fashion souls things like the Assassin Gear, which is pretty cool. and the standard and knight stuff. If you didn't start as a knight or an assassin, here's where you can buy their gear. We don't need anything like that.
Goodbye.
Well, thanks anyway, Greatwood. Let's see, can Andre do anything for us? Can we reinforce the rest of this? No, we cannot. Reinforce weapon. Okay, so we don't have enough Titanite for that. We also don't have any Titanite skills, which are required to boost boss weapons. We can go back to the very beginning, the Cemetery of Ash, and kill the lizard there to get our Titanite scale, but I'm not too sure yet. Not until we've got the stats to wield it. So I'm going to check our stats just now and level us up a little bit. I think we'll probably primarily go for Vigour since we don't really need any stats to help us with the raw Stora Straight Sword right now, but we'll see, we'll see. So we're at 15 decks. How many are we going to get here? Just the 2? Might as well just push that up then if we're almost got enough to get enough for the Hollow Slayer Great Sword enemy. That was an accident. Do we have any souls on us? We don't. Okay. Right, we're going to do the NPC side quest here. Remember that maiden who was trapped? Let me just check something. That maiden who was trapped next to Aegon. Well, we're going to go free her, but to do that we need a key. Do we have the right key? Grave key. Okay, we do have it. That's fine then. We are going to go free her. She is very important. I mean, for a couple of different things. If you're running a miracles build, you're definitely going to want to free her. She's your main miracles vendor for the playthrough. So you definitely make sure you bring her back. If you want to kind of get some background on things like the shrine and firekeeping and things like that, she's also a pretty interesting character that wise. And also it's an NPC quest that you like to follow and see how it all turns out between her and Aegon and how they're kind of linked in and why they're so close by. No! I was hoping he would come over sooner. There we go. Oh, he's still alive. Right. So this key is worth buying anyway because it leads to some kind of interesting information. These guys coming all the way back down to fight me. There we go. First of all, we're just going to drop down. We don't need to... if you come down here, you're going to get a pretty pointless item. The waistcloth, or the loincloth as it were. Does it have any lore on it? I've never actually looked at it. Don't imagine it would. Yes, this is the deprived starting attire. Very weird. And here is the strangest thing of all, and one of the strangest thing in all 3 Souls games. This is a statue of Velka. Now, if you play Dark Souls 1, then you'll realise that Velka's a pretty important character in the background of the story, but she never makes an appearance. In Dark Souls 2, I don't think she's even mentioned at all, but she has a little bit of a presence in the form of one of her crows. Oh, hit my pop filter there. Whereas in Dark Souls 3, the sin mechanic seems to have gone, but her existence is kind of here in the form of this statue. It's just kind of weird. You can request absolution and dissolution. Dissolution, I'm not too sure. I think it's something to do with your covenants, perhaps. But you don't really need to do any of that. I'm not sure what dissolution is. Absolution is if you hit one of the NPCs by accident and keep aggroing on you and you won't sell you anything and all that, then you want to come down here and request absolution for quite a lot of souls, but it'll take away the aggro. Right, so this is a little trick room here to kind of lull you into a false sense of security. There's just bones everywhere. But as you come into this room, yep, you see the bones start to come to life. So these guys are skeletons, and they're going to come to life and be a nuisance for us. Thanks to our sword though, they go down in about 2 hits. If we can land those 2 hits. And you can actually hit them while they're not even fully stood up yet. So they're not too bad. They're not as difficult as the ones you're going to be encountering a little bit later on. There's only 2 through here, I think. Possibly 3, but I think it's just 2. Unfortunately, 1 tries to ambush you, so as soon as you get to here... Yep. Don't think so. Was that like a counter hit backstab? We just did... That looked like we did 1200 damage, which I don't think is actually possible with the raw Stora Straight Sword. So that was kind of weird. Sometimes the enemies from up above do kind of fall down here. So that's why that is. Oh, she's not meant to be down here. Ow. Just ignore them. You don't need to fight these guys. Just heal up and drop down here, but be careful because as soon as you go over here, yeah, there's gonna be more rats than you You can shake and raw store a straight sword at. Right, it's over deserted corpse. Saint's talisman, so that's kind of meant to give you a hint of who's above. And we should be safe, I think, now. I thought it was a real person. What the hell? You can open this door here, back out towards Aegon. And now we're going to go meet Irina. Irina of Carim. She's a saint.
Who is there? Is someone there? Anyone? Oh, please, whoever you are, touch me. The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me. Ah, yes, there you are. So close, indeed. Then I am not entirely alone just yet. Praise the merciful gods above. Oh, forgive me. I am Irina of Carim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then. I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead? Oh, thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows. I, Irina of Carim, solemnly swear to serve you.
And so there we have Irina. She's blind, and that's why we had to touch her to let her know that we were in the area. Although there was also the first kind of hint, I don't know if I've seen it before, that the dark and the deep and these kind of abyssal things have a lot of connections with little insects in the dark that kind of bite away at you. So that's quite an interesting thing that's going to keep popping up. But she's sworn into her service. She wants to be a firekeeper, but she sees herself as too weak, and she's going to go back to the shrine. But perhaps we can make her find her purpose after all. Wonder what Aegon has to say about us saving her.
You've gone and rescued her, have you? How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help. Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Egon, a knight of Carim. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety, and only for that long. What's the matter? I am allied to you and
So Aegon is doing the whole, I don't care, but secretly does care. He cares about Irina a great deal, and that as long as you keep her safe, then he'll work for us and he'll kind of hang around with us, so that's nice. Where is this one going? Yeah, down, okay. So now that we've done everything in the area, you don't have to kill the cursed-rotted Greatwood, by the way. He is an optional boss, but just thought we'd get out of the way. Come down here to make your way to the next area. You might wonder why this is a bit of a big room. There's kind of nothing in it, and that's because in the next room there's a bit of a difficult enemy that makes serve you better by dragging them back here. You can see him just here. He's going to attack us as soon as we pick up this ember here. Yeah, he is. And he's kind of similar to Vort, but a little bit smaller. These are your... Oh. Yeah. These are the Outrider Knights, similar to Vort and stuff. They can't be backstabbed, by the way. I've tried it a few times. If they hit you, your frostbite meter will obviously build up quite fast. Oh, god damn it. Just such an annoying enemy. Because as you can see, no matter what you really do, they always just lunge at you. If you can get behind them, you stand a good chance. Did we get him? Hey! This one drops the Erythil straight sword, so We need a little bit more information for where these guys come from. It'll come from that sword. So without a doubt, let's go check out the straight sword. Straight sword bestowed upon the Outrider Knights of the Boreal Valley. This weapon is enshrouded in frost and causes frostbite. Every Outrider Knight one day devolves into a beast constantly hounded by the Pontiff Sullivan's black eyes. Of course, we already know exactly what that means because it's these black eyes which actually caused that. Don't even know why I didn't equip it, but now we do have it on. It's a very good weapon, the Erythral Straight Sword. I used it for quite a while once I first got it my first playthrough, but I'm not too sure if the Erythral Straight Sword is a better weapon in it. Now I apologise when I open this door because the last few times I've played through this area, as soon as I've opened this door and run into this bonfire, my frame rate has collapsed. And there it goes again, look at that. Wow. No idea why it does that, but here's the Road of Sacrifices. This is when it's going to lead us to a sort of branching path. In a sense, it doesn't truly branch, but offers us 2 different locations to go to, and that's where we're going to head through next. It's quite a short area if you want it to be. It can be quite long, and it's not as deep as the Undead Settlement. The Undead Settlement is probably the largest, most dense area in the whole game, I would argue, other than perhaps one later area. But Road of Sacrifices is actually a pretty decent area to kind of run around in. Okay, so we're going to push our dex to 18.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the
We don't have anything else to give her. We don't have anything to buy from any of these guys. In fact, since we have a couple of thousand spare souls, I'm actually going to go buy a buckler from Greatwood, just in case we end up getting into some impromptu PvP. We have a sort of parry tool just in case. So thank you for that. If you want to go find our new additions, Aegon should be just at the top of these stairs. Nope. Alright, he sometimes stands about here. This kind of area. You'll find him. Do we have a little friend? Did we get these items from the last time? Yeah, okay, so I've already met Leonard, or Leonard. Let's see if he has anything else to say to us just yet.
Well, hasn't it been some time? Remember me? I slipped you those red eyes some time ago. You're making quite an effort of it, so I thought you might like to know. If you yearn for a proper red-eye orb, one that is uncracked, then kill the Dark Wraith, survivor of the land swallowed by darkness. He has been a prisoner for many ages in the deepest cell in all Lothric. I can see it in your eyes. If you didn't invade, didn't pill.
I can see it in your eyes. I don't know why that came into my head. Well, I don't know why it came into my head. It's the exact same words, but... So, we have a potential method of grabbing an uncracked red eye orb that will let us infinitely invade. And we'll do that in the next episode. We'll go back to visit the one part of Lower Lothric that we've not really been to yet. Hogwood, you get anything new to say to us?
You haven't given up yet? Then you're a brasher lad than I thought. You can make better use of this.
Okay, so he's going to give us a heavy gem. So heavy gems allow you to make your weapons scale better with strength. And that's probably what we're going to do eventually. I know our dex is higher than our strength right now, but I think we're going to go strength. Might even respec at a later date, but we're doing okay for now. Andre, what do we have? Alright, so nothing particularly interesting here. The Erythral Straight Sword is increased by Twinkle and Titanite. Don't really know if I want to do that either. Let's check its stats. For instance, Erythral Straight Sword, 198 physical damage, yeah, so we compare that to Erythral Straight Sword and it's only giving us 145, so you want to stick with the Raw Erythral Straight Sword right now. I read somewhere, someone put down that if you get the Raw Erythral Straight Sword to +6 it'll do you to the last lord in the game, which I think is pretty far. I doubt it would go that far, but if it did, that's pretty crazy damage. We've done everything we can today. We're finally through the Undead Settlement, which took up a lot more time than I thought it would, and it's probably, like I said, the densest area in the whole game, so no other area is going to take up as much time as that did. Perhaps maybe one other one, but it's at least a little bit more varied and more things to do and more branching paths. But we're done today. We took down a boss, we rescued another NPC who we haven't even spoken to yet, I forgot. Irina's down here, by the way. She's over here in this corner here. Be careful, because there's a few times I've rolled off this platform and landed right on her head, and it makes her think you're hostile. So land here, and you speak to her.
Oh, Champion of Ash. Welcome back. I was not meant to be a firekeeper, but I am honored to serve you beside the bonfire. The gods are ever merciful. My gratitude lies with them, and with you, I am yours now.
Well, we hope she doesn't give up on our dream of being a firekeeper just yet. We might find a way to help her out there. So she's your miracle woman. When you first get her in here, she has heal, replenishment, caressing tears, and homeward. So that's like a homeward bone. That's sort of like pardon me, cures all the things like poison and toxic and things like that. Replenishment's like regen in Final Fantasy games. It kind of gradually restores HP over time as opposed to just being a flat heal, which the heal miracle is. If you want her to give more spells, you need to give her tomes. We don't have the option yet, but basically because she's blind we need to find her tomes that are in braille. And in the next episode we're going to get one right at the very beginning, and I can show you how that works. She only has one item I think in the whole thing, yeah. And it's a Saint Ring, and that allows you to attune additional spells. A ring bestowed upon a Carim sent. In Carim, the saints give voice to the ancient tales. They memorise countless cumbersome sacred books and read them in sonorous tones, a function for which they are widely renowned. So this is obviously Irina's ring because she is a saint of Carim. And if you don't have any spells to, if your attunement's too low and you don't have any spell slots to put spells into, you can buy that and equip it. Okay, so that is everything done for today. We are finally done. Have we spoke to... Yeah, I was going to say, have we spoke to Cornix since he came back and got the pyromancy flame? Well, we have. That is us done for today. Starting in the next episode, we're going to go back to Lothric. We're going to get that uncracked red eye orb from the Dark Wraith. We'll talk more about the Dark Wraiths and their past and what their kind of relevance is in this world. And we'll also push forward into the Road of Sacrifices. We're probably going to meet another NPC, and then we have a choice to make on which direction we want to head. I'm trying to think which would matter in terms of quests and things like that, but there's kind of 6 1/2 so we'll talk about it at a later date. I want to thank you guys for joining me here today. If you like this video, why don't you drop it a like, let people know about it, let people know about my channel. I appreciate every single video you guys watch and all the support that you show me. And if you like this one, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But until then guys, I'm going to take a little rest here. Stay kindled.